That's a huge departure from the way it is. But it's so beautiful. I mean, it is like making love to God. And that's exactly what it's like. Because right there in the first chapter of the Bible, we, the God Almighty, the monotheistic Creator God Almighty, is clearly established as male and female. We equal. God's an egalitarian. You're making love to your beloved, you're making love to God, dudes. Ladies, I mean, it's the same thing. If you're deeply in love, I mean 100% devoted, that's your beloved. You've given everything to them. You understand? That is like God approves. He sanctifies that relationship, especially when you turn to Him and say, it's you I'm thanking, God. These females, oh my God, it's you. You're the artist. You're the one that gave me an instinct to know the difference between what's beautiful and what's ugly. And these creatures are beautiful. This is your crowning glory. This is your best work, the female. That's my opinion. And I don't know how women feel. I think they, probably feel similar that, yeah, it's true. I mean, we are more beautiful. I mean, it's just the whole femininity, the softness, it's just the cuteness, the nurturing, that what I call generosity. See, that's the nurturing, the giving that you can't, the female just, taking care of the baby. The whole thing is just so godly and beautiful. And it could be so natural and pure if, there wasn't shame and guilt wrapped up in these things. And it's like, and society doesn't even talk about these things. What is the right way to look at nakedness? I mean, is nudity in any way pornographic? How can it be? I mean, we're born naked. To say, oh my God, cover their shame. God, you idiot, you perv. You see, we need to have these discussions just so we come to a conclusion of what's the right way to look at these issues, but we don't. See, we're unique to all the other creatures in this regard. They're oblivious to nakedness and all this. Care less. And look at how different we are, all of us. And the same goes for money. You see, we are very different, vastly more intelligent than all the other creatures combined. Yet look at our immaturity level. You got to admit, I mean, our minds are not the same as God's. So automatically, you got to understand, our relationship got off to a real rocky start with the fall of man. When God said to Himself, I'm sorry I created these, they hurt me so badly, whatever the original sin is a metaphor for. Did we inbreed with demonic beings? Maybe. I mean, now we got the death gene, diseases, natural disasters, all this bad stuff. People could say, well, God's a feckless pustule of a God. He's an a-hole. Look at all this stuff He allows, the wars and homicides, horrible things. And you understand? If you didn't know the root cause of the problem, you got to know the root cause of the problem. You got to know what's bugging you on an organic level. That's across the board. That's how to identify it. Everybody has to deal with these things. Or it's an inorganic level. That's artificial, invented. And that's all about money. All about money. It is that simple. Each and every form of money must go in order for humanity to be free. Free is an absolute term. And if we're all shackled by money in some way or form, it's not going to work. So many people, they can barely imagine, how would a society run without money? I mean, who would get what? There'd be instant demand. I mean, everybody would be free for all. Everybody would just take everything. And where would law and order go? Have you ever heard of the golden rule? Ever heard of figuring it out? Ever heard of a lottery or rationing or, getting busy and making excess of all the things we want and need? You understand? I mean, we have the wherewithal to figure this out and get along with each other and live together in peace and harmony, safety, security, freedom, and prosperity for all the inhabitants of Earth, not some. Because those some that think they're doing it are just completely delusional on the highway to hell. They're the money-loving bullies. And if there's one place I don't want to go, it's with those people. And the same for you. And there's no shortage of real estate in Shangri-La, my friends. But that's the inevitable. That's what's coming to this planet soon. Soon, I believe, because I think just like any good parent, eventually you reach the end of your rope and you put your foot down. Say, I'm not going to allow my saints, my righteous children that just want to live together in peace and harmony, safety, security, freedom, and prosperity for everybody, and live as one big, fat, happy family. I'm not going to let them get bullied by you people indefinitely. you could see the writing on the wall. You could, even the evil men can, and they're getting a little bit shaky. They don't know what to do because they know it's inevitable. Before, they would have just started some violent, bloody revolution and got in their ivory towers, hire their private mercenaries and armies to keep them safe. But things are different now. It's like in the book of Daniel, chapter 12. That's how it is. It's going to happen through knowledge this time. This is the hand of God. So much better, vastly, infinitely better than violence. This is permanent. This is the change that's coming. It's by the finger, the hand of God, and his servants that are his friends and servants of their own free will and accord, by their own volition. That's what's going to change it. That's what's going to bring Shangri-La to planet Earth and eternity. Bodies that can't perish. Okay, we reach a given age. From people I've talked to, it's about the age Christ was crucified, which was about, 32? So we'll reach a certain age, and that's it. Whether or not we keep having kids, I don't know. I don't know everything. But, God gave us an imagination, a very powerful one. We're all precious treasures, equally beloved by our parents. Even if you were born by sperm taken from a sperm bank, you were still born through ecstasy and euphoria. Why not? Imagination. I mean, that makes us like God. That's how we got to be here, through the imagination, the mind of God. That's why we exist as human beings. And we're gifted with our 5 senses. It's a beautiful thing to exist, to have life. We've got to be grateful for it. Our parents did very little to create us. I mean, as monkeys and dogs and cats all do the same thing. So, I mean, you're equal. I don't care if you came from a sperm bank. You're equally beloved. You're in no way less or inferior to any other human being. We need to humanize each other, not dehumanize each other. We have one set of parents. God put the sperm in every man. God put the egg in every woman. It's God's work. You're God's work. I'm God's work. We are all God's work. And we should treat each other as such, respectfully, with dignity and love, appreciation, even for our enemies somehow. We've got to. If that's what God says we got to do, then somehow there's a way we can do it. As much of a struggle as it is, there's a way to do it. Yeah, friends. So, in a nutshell, we're run by control freaks, insane madmen, evil men. And, controlling the purse strings and creating constant chaos is their MO. This is essential for them to maintain control of what's going on here in society. So we have so they want a perpetual social economic storm, chaos. So the people could say to themselves, any port in a storm. It's kind of like this mass Stockholm syndrome I talk about, where people just capitulate because, it's just in their minds. They've been trained and taught that this is the path of least resistance. You just got to be successful. You got to make money. Money's the answer for everything. Even King Solomon had to admit that. He didn't condone it, but he admitted it. It's sick. It's sick. And our thinking is typically very different from the way our parents think. And we need to adopt and embrace their way of thinking, not our own, because we are way too easily deceived. Yeah, I really don't have much for recent current events or other talking points. I went through it already there, so I'm on to some thoughts from the last week or 2 or 3. Of all the many things I have to be grateful for that give me a real degree of peace of mind in this mad world, is knowing that myself, as all others, possess the exclusive prerogative to choose to be an egalitarian, to be able to confidently proclaim to the world, to everyone, I am not to be blamed for an atomic scintilla. That's a new term I made up. Atomic scintilla of any person's sense of financial fear or insecurity or stress or misery or lack of freedom, nor anything else associated with each and every part of money and any and all forms thereof. It there. Listen, best everybody. Have a nice day. Have a nice life. Have a nice eternity. And try to be a nicer and nicer human being. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Try to really love your enemy from your heart, you know. Be like God. It's the best we could do. At least we're trying, you know. And enjoy your life as best as you can in this crazy ass world. Okay? Appreciate others and let them know you appreciate them. It's a beautiful thing. And we can thank